Okay, we're getting some people. I'm a little bit early, guys, but I wanted to join live early. Trying to get some people in. Let's see, share. Okay, y'all, while we wait for more people to join, I did include the link to the assistance program website. If you want to follow along with me, you're more than welcome to.
Hey. Long time no see. Oh, you been seeing me clean. I know, because I've been seeing you.
So we are starting at 7:30. I did join early, try to get some people in. So I'm going to give them some time to join us. I'm trying to go live on Instagram, but the iPad is definitely giving me problems.
How's Little Man doing? How we doing what you do with his wife in the middle of the night? How's he doing? Johnny was prison for 20 years. That's how he's doing. Not you. All alone. Why you didn't call me, Ricky? I thought we were friends. I was busy. So I hear. White boy victims on our dad dying his son. You know the reason Johnny in jail and you and me free? Ricky? Because we're smarter. I made Johnny look good.
Okay, guys, we got 10 more minutes.
We trust too many people. You just stuck to people I introduced him to. I would be alone. You wouldn't be here.
So for those who just joined, I just added the website link to the comments. So if you guys want to save it or tag along with me while I go through this, you're more than welcome to. Yay, we have some people joining still. I'm excited.
You know how you been watch, making sure your sister gets home.
Oh, let me take the TV off.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how easy it is to take a wrong turn no matter how short the journey. She worried? Yeah, better than I. See me and Della tonight, Mom, Pa.
Okay, since we have some people joining, we will start on time. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. Okay, everyone who is joining, if you see the link in my comments, give me like a thumbs up or a wave or something. Just want to make sure everybody has the link. Okay, it's just 4. By the way, we're getting started at 7:30. For those who just joined us. Three more minutes. close, guys. 2 more minutes. So y'all, I'm definitely learning TikTok and this whole live situation. Okay, we got 1 more minute. Okay. Okay, it's 7:30. Okay, so everyone who's on my live, thank you for joining me. I know it's Friday and we now getting home from work and we're winding down. So I'm really glad you guys are joining me on this live today. I promise that it's going to be very informative. I just stumbled across this assistant program that I want to share with you guys, right? But just brief introduction. My name is Alana McKenzie. I am a real estate agent in Houston. I've been in Houston for over 20 years. So I'm pretty much familiar with the city and the vicinity of Houston. I work for the city of Houston, so I end up getting this program. Someone told me about this program at work, and I was like, oh my God, I need to share it with everybody. Because just like you know, everybody, including myself, would love to be a homeowner one day, and why not get some assistance, right? But this one is very special. We're going to get into that a little later, so I'm not going to take too much of you guys' time. I'm pretty much going to run down the website and kind of explain things in detail. I am here to answer questions, so I will be looking in the comment section if you have any questions for me. If I don't get to your question, please feel free to reach out to me. You can text me. My number is all over my TikTok page. And you can also find me on Instagram where you can DM me or anything like that. But I'm more than happy to help. Okay. So let's talk about the Harvey Homebuyer Assistance Program, right? So the portal is opening at the end of this month, June 30th. So I am trying to get you guys prepared, if you're interested in this program, to be ready to submit your application and everything you need to be successful, right? So the city is offering up to $125,000, up to $125,000 to income qualified applicants. So what makes this assistant program super special is that they're really not counting on credit. They're more so counting on other things, but mainly your income, right? Your household income. So just like any other contract that you are completing, if you and your spouse, or you and your boyfriend, or you and your sibling, or whoever is going to be on the application, then they're definitely going to be looking to see what is that household income, right? So let's go into it. So let's talk about the eligibility requirements, right? So I must say that before we even get into this list, if you don't have at least one, well, if you missing one, please do not attempt to apply, right? Because as we all know, like government assistance, they're pretty strict on their eligibility requirements, right? They do not want to cut corners, and they're not going to. And so we want to make sure that before we even waste any of our time, that we are meeting our eligibility requirements, right? So let's start with citizenship and residency. Of course, you must be a U.S. citizen. We all know that. Residence during Hurricane Harvey. So let me go ahead and explain something off to the side. The Harvey Homebuyer Assistance is not for repairs. This is strictly assistance towards your down payment and closing costs, right? Let me go ahead and be the first to let you guys know, like, what this main myth is, right? People think, if you have never bought a home, right? People think that in order to buy a home, you need like $20,000, $25,000. That is so untrue, right? Don't be scared of home ownership. You don't need that much money. As a matter of fact, builders and different finance companies, they give you like incentives, right? Especially if you're a first-time home buyer. We all know about first-time home buyer assistance program, right? But they want to help, right? You don't need $15,000. I have clients that paid less than $5,000 to get into a home, and that is just right hand. So you don't need the $20,000, and this up to $125,000 is help towards down payment and closing costs, right? So just know that you don't need the whole $125,000. They're not paying for your house. They're helping you get into a home. Okay. So anyway, residence during Hurricane Harvey. So you have to have lived in Houston on August 25th, 2017, right? With the home address in the city of Houston limits. So you can check your mapping, you can check your eligibility on where you stayed at the time. They have a mapping tool on the website. Like I said, I had posted a link earlier. If you didn't get the link, feel free to reach out to me. Or you can always go on Google and just search up City of Houston, Harvey Homebuyer Assistance. Okay. Your home buyer status, you should be a first-time home buyer or have lost a home during Hurricane Harvey. So, like I said earlier, it's not to repair your home, it's to get you in a home. So just keep that in mind. Your education requirements, which I think that is crazy. You must be willing to complete a HUD, a HUD approved 8-hour homebuyer education course. I will talk about that a little later. So I'm going in order here. Your mortgage eligibility, you should be able to secure a fixed rate mortgage from a recognized lender. So we're going to talk more about that later. And your income requirement, of course, you have to be at or below 120% of the area median income. They do have a link on the website, and the link on the website will be able to let you know if you're eligible. So just be as honest as you can with, like I said, if you're doing the application by yourself, do not add anybody else's income. They're going to verify. If whoever is on the application, that is who you're adding. That is who you're gonna tally up along with your income in order to see if you qualify. Okay. And then last but not least, background check. The only thing is they're not looking for felonies or anything like that. They just want to make sure you're not a registered sex offender. They don't want to help those. So that is the eligibility requirements, right? So the thing that just warms my heart about this program is the fact that it's no interest, and your loan will be forgiven if you lived in the home for, I think, 2 years. Let me make sure they say that. Right, the compliance period, which is 2 years, which is like unbelievable, right? You don't have to pay back the money that they give you. So they really just want to help, right? And I love this program. This program really sparked my attention because of those incentives that it actually gives, right? Make sure we don't have any questions. Okay. No questions. Okay. So as we shall. Okay, so let's talk about the preliminary steps, right? It's only 3 steps that they give us, preliminary, right? But of course, there's a lot more steps to it, but this is just what's going to get you rolling, right? First things first, you got to find a realtor. Not telling everybody to pick me, right? If you have a realtor, my feelings is not hurt. Go with what you know. But if you are looking for a realtor, I'm more than happy to help. More than happy to guide you and assist you every step of the way. And all you got to do is shoot me a DM or on Instagram, or you can just shoot me a text. My number is everywhere on my TikTok. If you look at all my videos and all my flyers, I have my number out there. I'm pretty much open book, right? So and then let's explain why you need a realtor, because I know some people are like, she's just saying that because she's a realtor. No, I'm not saying that. The reason why is because this is a timed process, and if you move in a move-in ready home, you are going to need a realtor regardless, because when it comes down to signing up these contracts and trying to piece together all this paperwork, that is what your realtor is here for. And you cannot waste time in a situation like this trying to look for a home on your own and then having to figure out that you don't know the terminology of these contracts, right? So a realtor is the best bet. It's just the route you want to go, only because it just makes your life easier. So, but they do recommend it. It's step 1. So if you're following along with me on the website, you'll see it as big as day. Also on the website, they do have a link where they offer a list of realtors. But like I said before, it's whoever you pick. I'm more than happy to help. Okay. Step 2. Let's talk about the 8-hour course that they were mentioning in their requirements. So you can't go around this, right? Obviously, they really want you to take this 8-hour home buyer education course, right? Unfortunately, it's not online. It is in person. I did my research. And if you was to look on the website and click that link in that box, it will give you a whole menu where you can search up your zip code and find the nearest location where you can take this 8-hour course. So let me put in my zip code just to see something. So there is a huge variety of locations where you can take this course. Okay, yeah. So you play around with it. This course is given by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So it's mandatory that you take this course. And it's basically a housing counseling service. So they want to make sure, hey, before we give you this money, we want to make sure you do your due diligence, and we do our due diligence by allowing you to go sit with our counseling service so that you can get some more insight on home ownership and what we expect out of you, you know, after we give you this money. Okay. And then step 3, pre-approval, right? You can either get 2 things. You can get a pre-approval letter from a lender, a well-known lender, not mom and pop lender, right? Or you can get a paperwork showing a fixed rate mortgage. Okay, I think the easiest way, and I'm not telling you what to do, it's either or, you can pick, but I think the easiest way to go is to get the pre-approval. Yes, they're going to pull a soft credit, but they have to do it. They have to do it because you have to present to them when you submit your application on what can you afford. And I think, and me taking an educational guess, I think that they're going to look into that too before they try to give you any help, because with the market these days. If your situation is not better than others, then and you get approved for like 100,000, they'll work with you, but they want to make sure that, hey, this person can get in the house, right? They're not going to just throw away money. So just to give you an idea on what kind of numbers they're looking for, the fixed rate mortgage is a loan where the interest remains the same, right? They want a hardcore number on what you can afford. And it's no different than if you was to come to me as a realtor and you was to be like, come to me as a client and I'm a realtor, and you would be like, hey, I'm looking for a house. And I'm like, hey, before we go house shopping, we need to go get you a pre-approval. Why? Because we want to have some certainty on what you can afford. We're not going to just go and walk up in any kind of house and then you get disappointed. I'm not here to disappoint my clients, and I'm sure no other real estate agent is trying to do that as well. So just make sure that you go to a credible lender, and they will pull a soft credit report, and they're going to tell you what you can afford. Okay. Okay, so they also have their number there on the website that you can call if you need to ask any more questions, especially about the pre-approval and the finance part. I can't go into depth with finances because I'm not a financial advisor, but this is, I'm just only reiterating what they need. So after you complete the preliminary steps, you have to call to get an HBAP number. It's an applicant number. And once you get this number, and you'll have to have an email. I'm sure everybody have an email when you call, because when they give you and provide you this number, this is the number that you will have to stamp on all your paperwork before you submit your application. Okay. What's the name of the program? This is the Harvey Assistance Program. So, okay. So for those who are just joining, I'm not going to go in depth because, I don't want to start all over, but let me just tell you. So June 30th, the city of Houston has a program. It's the Harvey Homebuyer Assistance Program. They are opening up their portal so that income qualified applicants can apply to their assistance program, where the city is offering up to $125,000 in assistance that can go towards closing costs, down payment, and to help you get into a home. So the reason why I'm doing this live is because I'm trying to encourage people who want to become homeowners to look into this program and definitely give it a shot, especially if you meet all the eligibility requirements. If you don't, like I said, please do not try to apply for this assistant program. I hate for you to waste your time. This is for those who meet the requirements. So let me see if I can add the link again real quick for those who just now. Okay, let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. All right. We still here. Good. So I'm going to post it in the comments. So, yeah. So if you cannot access this link, no worries. It's on Google, guys. If you go on Google, just search up the Harvey Assistance Program. Make sure it's on the City of Houston website, and you can access all this information I'm giving. This live, I am explaining in depth the process. Okay. So yeah, so just make sure after you do those 3, and then 2, I think you can, let's go back to the 8-hour home buyer education course. I really think that you can do that early. Earlier the better. So to my live crew, right? This is what I ask. If you are going to do this, I say just stay on top of everything. Do not lax. I don't know how long the portal is going to be open, and I do know that it's going to be thousands of people who is going to try to, who is going to apply for this assistant. And I want you to know that your application is not going to be seen or processed until you have every single thing submitted. Everything. They're not even going to look your way if you don't have anything, everything submitted, okay? So just make sure you start gathering up your documents. We're going to talk about that in a little bit and get everything together. So when June 30th come around, all you got to do is just do the application and then hit send, right? Okay, so you also can check the status once your application has been submitted. Just know they did say that there's really no delays in their process. Their portion, like paperwork wise, should take no more than 6 weeks. So that's another thing. I'm like, wow, this assistance program, they're really on it, because they're trying to get you in and get you out. Like 6 weeks, get you in, get you out. They're guaranteeing that there's no delays. And so that's another reason why you need this realtor, because whenever they approve you and they be like, okay, we got this money for you, you know, do you have a home? Have you found a home? You know, you don't want to be that person that's just like scrambling everywhere and it's like, I haven't found a home. They'll be like, well, what are you doing? You gotta hurry up. I mean, it's the government assistance, guys. Not talking down on them. They're wonderful. I'm just saying they work on a time schedule, right? Okay, so also on the site, because I do know some, depending on your situation, if you need like affidavits and anything like that, anything having to do with child support, affidavit for child support, non-delinquent, if you need that. I see statement and explanation of facts, bank deposit forms, or facts about bank deposits, first-time homebuyer status and certification of property ownership. They have so many links here that they think you may need, that you can look into. They got forms in case if you need to submit a form pertaining to your particular situation. They have that as well. Okay, so you will be able to access those on the website as well. Okay, so underwriting, just like any home buying process, doesn't matter if it's government assistance or you're doing it the regular way or whatever, you always got to go through a home buying underwriting process. This assistant program also goes through an underwriting process. They will give you a conventional reservation letter when it's time to put a property under contract. Your lender will need to know the amount of subsidy you will be receiving now that we know the cost of your home. So yes, again, backtrack to your pre-approval. They want to know the cost of your home. By the time they give you this conditional reservation letter, they want to make sure that we're ready to go into a contract. When you go into a contract, and I'm sure we have some homeowners on this live, but just to go ahead and cover my tracks, once you get into a contract, right, time is of the essence, right? So there are steps that you have to take, that you have to implement. Hey, you got to have the down payment as soon as you get into contract. It's the same thing. They can't go around that standardized process of home ownership. Remember, they're only giving you help, right? So once you get into a contract, you have to have that down payment, and then so forth. It's all depending on your situation. Can go into depth that way, but just know when you get in the contract, time is of the essence. From start to when you get to closing, you have to be on time with certain things, submitting paperwork, making sure that you, like I said, put your down payment. If you have to pay off any debt, depending on your lender. Some lenders, they do a really good job at trying to guide you to pay off some debt in order to help you at the closing table. So I can't get into depth with that conversation because I'm not a financial advisor, but my clients have also went through that stage as well. Okay. So your lender is going to have to submit some property and lenders checklist. Let's see what that checklist is about. Credit reports, loan application form, loan estimate. And this is stuff that really you wouldn't have to so much worry about. Only if your lender requests certain paperwork or needs you to verify a few things. That's when you'll kind of just hear about some of this required documents, but this is more so what your lender is going to give you. See, you're probably going to be that middleman in this transaction. So your lender, because you're going to find your own lender, because the city of Houston does not provide that for you, you will have to submit these required documents. So I'm not going to go into these required documents only because this conversation can spiral way out of control if we get into depth with finances, right? So we're not going to do it. Okay, and also in the process, whatever home you pick is going to have to go through all the inspections. Same thing. If you know, like I know, you're going to have to go through A to Z to move into this home. Like I said, this program is only for assistance. So phase 3 is closing. You make it to closing, you're moving in your house. That's just point blank period, right? Phase 3, you will receive your commitment letter. And it's going to let you know your closing date, your terms and conditions that's provided by the city, because the city is going to give you, if they give you money, they're going to give you some terms and conditions. But like I said, according to this website and all this information, it is not the worst. I've seen worse. This is like a cakewalk, and your loan is going to be forgiven. Like, why not? Okay. So yeah, so once you go through your closing day and get your commitment letter, then your instructions and your loan closing documents are sent to the title company and the lender, who's going to be submitting pre-closing documents, and that will be your preliminary closing disclosure and your final certified closing disclosure. It's just a lot of paperwork that comes with that, but you're on your way. I want to go over some required documents. And I got some question and Q&As that we're gonna go over. I'm just trying to get the list of required documents so you guys know what paperwork you need to start gathering. Okay. So let me make sure this the home have to be in Harris County. Yeah. Okay, so yes. You have to be within the city of Houston limits. Counties, I'm not going to get into counties because they're not saying anything about counties. But on the website, they have a link where you can put in your address and you can see if you're eligible as far as like the geographic parameters of what they consider city of Houston, because we all know in Houston is huge. And we know that we call Houston the vicinity of Houston, like the smaller cities, Pearland and Jersey Village. We be like, hey, that's Houston. Woodlands, hey, that's Houston. No, that's not Houston. Technically, it's not Houston. But anyway, yeah. Because I don't know if you might be borderline county lines and it might be eligible, but they do have a link where you can kind of see if your address is eligible for the program. Do we have any other questions? I'm gonna leave it open just a little bit for some questions before I go into the document checklist. I'm gonna give it about 2 minutes. Okay, I do know it's 8 o'clock, and so pretty much we're gonna go over this document checklist. Once we go over this document checklist, we're gonna go over Q&As, and then we're done. But like I said, all this information is on the website. I cannot stress it enough. Please, please, please don't stop at this live. Go onto their website. Really read and really see what you need and what you need to do in order to apply for this program. Like I said, everybody's situation is different. I am speaking for the general public. I'm not speaking to anybody in particular. I'm just trying to see if I can explain better some steps in case you need that kind of guidance. Okay. So we have no questions. Okay, so let's go over the applicant documents checklist, right? So this list that we're getting ready to go over is the required documents. Required means you must have them all, right? This is the part where I'm trying to prepare you to successfully apply for this program. This is the documents that you will need, right? I do see on here that maybe a few bullets does not pertain to everybody, but if it does pertain to you, you might want to look into your situation and look into that particular requirement. If you need to call them, the numbers on the website, please call them to see what they're requesting of when it comes down to stuff like divorce and child support, because those situations can get a little tricky. Okay, so first and foremost, you need the application. And by the way, before I start, this list, you need this list to submit. So that's why they have number 1, the application, because you do need most of these things in order to successfully submit. As I said before, for those who are now joining or join late, at the beginning of this live, I did mention that this program, they're not going to process you if you're missing one document, right? If you're missing one document, you are not going in process. They need a full and complete packet, not an application, but a packet. Your application and all the supporting documents that you need that. And more importantly, do not forget that 8-hour course, because that is going to break you if you do not take that course. They are serious about it. As they mention it twice on the website, so that means that it's mandatory, right? Okay, so required documents, you need your application. You definitely need your valid government issued ID or driver's license. Make sure it's valid, guys. So, and that's why I'm doing this live now, because June 30th, we're like about 2 weeks away. You have enough time to gather up everything you need. If you need to renew your license, go ahead and do that. Just get your stuff together, because like I said, this can be as easy as possible. No more than 6 weeks, guys. 6 weeks is as long as they're going to take. Nothing more to process your paperwork. Okay, before you at least get a status. Okay, you need proof of legal status for applicants, co-applicants, and spouse. So just remember, if you and your spouse is on this application, you and your spouse need to gather up y'all paperwork. Okay, it can't just be one. Whoever's on the application, they need your information. Just remember, down the line, when you're talking with a lender and you're trying to get your pre-approval, whoever is on the application for the program is who you need to add to your application whenever you're talking with a lender. Everything just has to match. Okay, you need birth certificate or legal guardianship. Yeah, they're asking for everything, so you need that. You need your home buyer education course certificate. So yes, like I said, this course is in person. Sorry guys, the city is not going to give you everything and just be like, here on a silver platter. You have to go to an 8-hour course in person. You have to receive a certificate. They want to see it. Okay. You need your most recent 3-month pay stubs, pension statements, and etc. So those who are interested in this program and you're retired, they need your pension statement. Most received award letter for all benefits. Most recent 3-month bank statements for all checking accounts, which is standard. Even if you weren't doing this program, the 3-month bank statements is pretty standard all across the board whenever you're trying to purchase a home. Most recent 1-month bank statement for all savings. Yes, they are in your business. I have a client who just closed, and she was like, geez, they wanted to know everything. Yep, they want to know everything. They want to make sure that you can afford the home. You're not asking for our assistance. And please don't get it wrong. Yes, this is what the city is asking for the program, and it's the same for your lender. Your lender is going to get all up in your business, and because they want to make sure that you can afford the house. But now here's the thing. Don't be scared. Don't be alarmed. This is the process that everybody who has a home go through. And it's not as difficult as it sounds. They just, when you're doing your application, they just require all this documentation, and they're going to monitor you until closing. That's why during the process, you cannot buy a car. You cannot use your credit under no circumstances. Nothing credit, nothing. Don't use no credit. Don't buy nothing. You wait until after closing, because I stress this enough. And yet some people, they just don't listen. Then they get to the closing table, and then they be like, wow, my monthly mortgage is higher than what we talked about when I first got into contract. Yes, because you didn't listen, right? So I'm telling you, listen to me. During the process, don't use no credit. And as a matter of fact, start cleaning up your credit now, and just go ahead and start paying off some things, because you're still going through that financial part of home ownership, right? Okay. And also, they need your most recent years of tax return with all schedules and year-to-date profit and loss statement. Self-employed only. So if you're self-employed, you have to submit your profit paperwork, your profit and loss paperwork, and then you'll have to do your tax statements, and then you still have to do your banking accounts, and you still have to include your savings, your 1 month a year savings account. And this is just from what I'm reading on the website. So child support statement, divorce decree, if it pertains to you, okay? And lender pre-approval letter, we talked about that earlier. That is the most important thing in this process, just knowing what you can afford. I mean, it just builds confidence. I personally, that's my go-to whenever I have my clients and they're looking for a home. Let's go ahead and get the pre-approval together, because then we can just shop with confidence. Like, you know, we can just go to this house and that house, and we can just be like, yeah, you can afford this. You have options, girl. You have options. Homeboy, you have options. Like, it just feels good because you're not wasting your time, right? So they don't want to waste your time either. So you do need that pre-approval letter. First time home buyer status certification. Sorry guys, mouth dry. So you can qualify for first time home buyers as well with this program. Like I said, this program is to help you down payment, closing costs. If you have first time home buyer, then you got extra help. You're winning, okay? So, but your lender is going to be the one to let you know if you qualify for the first time home buyer. So your credit score, that's when your credit score do come into place in a way. I don't know how they're going to intertwine the credit score with the first time home buyer. Well, actually, I do know. If your credit score do not meet the eligible requirements, then you're not getting first time home buyer, and that's going to be according to your lender. So, and just remember, you pick your own lender in this process, right? If you, let me just add this. So if you qualify for, let's say a big house, right? And let's say it's a brand new build. So your builder has their own lenders, and it's your choice if you want to go with the builder lender. If you don't, it's not a big deal. In my experience of having clients who had brand new build homes, they went with the builder lenders, and it actually worked out better for them, only because the time that it took for them to get their home built, the lender within the builder company, they pretty much helped my clients and told them, hey, pay this off, pay this off, pay this off. You don't have to worry about this one. Make sure you pay this one down, because we're trying to prepare you for a lower monthly mortgage when you get to the closing table. Plus, we want to make sure that your interest rate is low. So if you pay your debt off or whatever while your home is getting built, by the time you get to closing, you'll be a happy camper. Okay, so I do know that. Then the city of Houston want to see the lender loan application. They do want that. Please, please, please. All your paperwork in the process, just save it. Don't trash it. Put it all in one place, because you will be submitting that to the city of Houston, okay? And then a communication communication application form that is really don't pertain to a lot of people unless you got somebody representing you. Okay, so that is the checklist. Didn't sound too bad. I hope it didn't. I don't want to scare nobody. It's not that bad. Trust me. Half of these things on this list here, you will already have once you have already met with your lender, pretty much. And what you don't have out of this list, they have it here for you on the website just for you to sign. So don't fear this process at all. Okay. So it is 8:12. So this is the last part of my live. Like I said, thank you guys for joining. I hope this was like so helpful for you. I hope you do decide. I hope you decide to get into this program and obtain home ownership. I mean, that's the way to go. Okay, so before we leave, I'm going to go through some Q&As. So this website was really, really, really generous with this Q&A, because they really ask questions that we all would answer. So that's why I really want to go through it, because it's really, really informative. It's helpful, right? So the first, and I'm going to go through this a little quicker because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna scare you. It's 10, y'all. It's 10. Anyway, how long does the process take? Okay, it says that the Harvey Homebuyer Assistance Program takes about 6 weeks, provided there are no external delays. So that's what I was telling you guys earlier. 6 weeks, no later. That is awesome, guys. I'm telling you. You don't want to prolong this. They don't want to prolong this. They want to get you in and out. This is an ideal program. Please note that the 6 weeks is measured from the time the applicant submits and complete the application. Remember, your application is not complete until you submit all of your paperwork. If you do not submit all your paperwork, your application is not processing. Remember that. Oh, here we go. We cannot begin to work on an incomplete application, and they do not mean the application itself. They mean their supporting documents as well, okay? Am I limited to a certain property type? You can apply for assistance with any property that will serve as your principal residence, including a single family property, condominium unit, or a townhouse, or a manufactured home on a permanent foundation. So these are your options, guys. This assistance, they're not planned. They're not trying to steer you in one direction. You can get a townhome, you can get a condo. They're just helping you, trying to find your home ownership, whatever you desire. You got to live in it, not them, right? Okay, are there any fees associated with the program? The buyer must contribute a minimum of $350 towards a transaction. That is normal, guys. That is so normal. Okay, as a real estate agent, I even pay transaction fees, and that is the same amount. So nobody's shortcutting you. Nobody's trying to get over on you. $350 is reasonable. That is normal, standard. Okay, you have to pay the transaction coordinator. That's where the money is going. Trust me, you want to, because they take care of pretty much the most important things in your transaction, okay? And that also includes inspections, down payment, appraisal, etc. But no fees are paid to the city of Houston. If someone tells you that they are participating fees, please report them, okay? So just remember, paying fees, city of Houston is not asking for you to pay any fees. They're not asking, okay? Okay, so here's this is my favorite part, guys. Are credit reports required for all household adults? Guys, this is why I love this program so much. No, the answer is no, okay? All household income must be reported, but only the applicant, co-applicant, and non-purchasing spouse credit is reviewed during the underwriting, right? All of them are not, so let's say that somebody, like the lender, let's say your spouse credit, I probably wouldn't put them on the forefront, okay? Don't do it at all. Is there a debt to income ratio requirement? Yes, guys, there is, okay? The program requires a 33% front-end ratio and a 45% back-end ratio. The front-end ratio is calculated by adding the new monthly payment plus taxes and insurance and dividing the sum by the borrower's monthly gross income. You guys need to take a look at this. Go into this website and make sure that your debt-to-income ratio requirement is where it's supposed to be, okay? If not, just simply pay it off, right? Just pay it off. You really want to get in this home, start renting, pay it off, okay? The back-end ratio is calculated by adding together the mortgage and all of a borrower's monthly debt payments and dividing the sum by the borrower's monthly gross income. For example, if a borrower has a monthly gross income of $5,000 and a monthly debt of payments of $2,000, their back-end ratio is 40%, okay? So they're even teaching you how to calculate that, right? Is there a credit score requirement? Y'all, this part, like, it just sends chills up my spine. This part, like, it just sends chills up my spine. No, guys, no. The Harvey Homebuyer Assistance Program does not consider credit score. Can you believe it? They want to help you. They're not helping you according to your credit score. Like I said, this program is strictly income based, household income based, however you want to put it, related. Credit, not so much. So you have more wiggle room to get some help here if your credit score is all right, right? Is there a maximum home price? I could really answer that, but I'm going to read what they say, right? The program has a maximum sale price of a qualifying home that is based on the current market home sale price. The program area will review this data every 6 months. And they're talking about comps, right? But at the end of the day, it just all depends on your lender, what you can afford, your pre-approval. Like I said, for those who are joining, a soft credit pool, and then they'll let you know in numbers what you can afford, and then they'll go from there, okay? So what can the assistance be used for? Down payments, home ownerships. I'm talking about home ownership. Homeowners insurance, mortgage interest, property taxes, etc. Ooh, you can do insurance too? Wow, I just learned something new. What is the lien period? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. All right, there we go. What is this? There we go. Okay, good. Okay, so what is the lien period? When the city assists a home buyer in buying a home, we invest in their long-term future. Based on the amount of assistance awarded, the compliance period may vary. The loan is forgiven at the end of the structured compliance period. At the end of that term, please submit this release of lien request to HCDD loan servicing. Okay, so at the end of your compliance period, in order to get your loan forgiven, you have to send an email, a release of lien request to an email address that they have provided here. So here is the compliance periods. Okay, 5 years for assistance up to $50,000. 8 years for assistance between $50,000 to $75,000. 10 years for assistance between $75,000 and $125,000. I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay. Okay. What if I must sell my home and move out before my affordability period is over? That's a great question. So they say in these cases, the city will collect a portion of the investment proportional to the remaining residency period. To begin this process, they have a link. So if you want the house that you moved in, if you want to leave, they have a process for you to do that. What if I need to refinance my home? That is okay. If your mortgage information changes, all you need to do is share the new information with their department in the city of Houston. Okay. Then we got a few more questions here. Does the program follow the FHA guidelines? No, it does not. The single family eligibility sets and follows its own internal guidelines, and that's why they've given everybody who applied a break on the credit, because it's not an FHA loan. And for those who don't know what an FHA loan is, it's actually another government assistance program that try to get people into own homes. So no, they're doing their own thing. City of Houston is definitely doing their own thing. Is there a cost for the city inspections? What does the inspection include? The inspection is free service conducted by our department. Okay, so yeah, the City of Houston, they have their inspection department, so I guess they're giving that for the free. Because you normally have to pay for that, so just a heads up. And they have a sample of the inspection. You can download their format version and their alternative version. What is the environmental review and why is it needed? The environmental review primarily looks at where the home is located relative to the floodway and floodplain. So they do make sure that you're making a good decision. A good decision on where you're purchasing this home. They definitely don't want you to move in this home and it's in a flood zone, because then they'll be liable because they're losing money. So they're going to make sure that you're okay. So don't think that they're just trying to be all up in your business. This is a good thing for them to do for you. only because you do not want to move in a home that's in a flood zone and don't have flood insurance. We all know throughout the years with the natural disasters that could be a disaster itself. So, okay. Is there mandatory training that lenders and realtors must take? No. Who is the loan servicer? The Harvey. Okay. The Harvey Homebuyer Assistance Program is serviced internally with our loan servicing division. The loan is not amortized. However, there is a 6% fee applied to the default loan balance. That's only if you default, the 6%. And then the last question, can the program funds be used to pay realtor commissions? No. So, despite the fact that you have to get a realtor in order to successfully get to this closing table, you will have to pay out of pocket for the realtor fees. They do not pay realtor fees. This is solely for you. Like I said before, what they have here, down payment assistance and home insurance and stuff like that. Okay, so that is all the information. So we really spent an hour and a half. I don't know who this is. Okay. Anyway. So that's pretty much all I have. Like I said, you can access this information on the website. If you want to reach out to me, like I said earlier, you can reach out to me. I have my Instagram on my bio and the TikTok. You can reach out, DM me. I have my number on there. You can text me if you like. I'm more than happy to assist you in this. If you're looking for a realtor, please. I have a YouTube as well. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. I do my best to update my followers as much as I can, whether it's my stories or my posts. This is actually my first time going live on TikTok, and I'm pretty excited at what a great turnout it is. I'm so thankful for you guys tuning in. I'm so glad that you guys have listened and stayed here with me for an hour and a half. And I hope this was very, very helpful, really, because home ownership, everybody dream of owning their own home, including myself. And the thing about it is assistance is really great. And they have a bunch of assistant program out here. You just have to look and research. I mean, when I became a real estate agent, I most definitely decided that I was going to be that agent that do my research and look up, programs or things like that to help my clients. That's kind of like the audience I like to target the most. All because, just a lot of information out there that we don't know, and I'm here to spread the wealth, right? So, I will have another live coming soon. I'm going to start having more lives with more programs. Sometimes they're not general. Sometimes they're going to be tailored to a specific crowd, but just trying to spread the information, right? Okay. So with that being said, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good weekend. Be safe. And I will see you guys on another live. Wow.